On the show, Africa Praise with Viola N. And today, as promised, we have Pastor Judy Ranoto joining us in the studio on Africa USA Radio. And she is a pastor's wife. She is a TV star. She's a humanitarian, all in one put together. Welcome, woman of God. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Viola, for having me. I'm so excited to be in your platform. Thank you for this opportunity.
I am so honored to have you because I'm so excited to hear about all the work that you've been doing. I mean, I've been following you on Pastors' Wives since it started.
Oh,
And yeah, so I'm excited to have you today on the show just to get to know you a little bit more. And I'm sure that our listeners and those who are following us on our social media platforms would actually love to hear about your story. Now, firstly, I just want us to look at the business side. You are a businesswoman.
yes. I love business. I think from a very young age, I just got intrigued about owning my own business. You know, when you're growing up and you're like seeing buildings or, trucks or things like that,
Yeah.
you're owning. So from a very young age, I was very passionate about business. And my uncle was a doctor, he was a general practitioner. So
Mm,
he really, really motivated me also because he was self employed to get into business. So in my middle 20s, that's when I opened my first business, the pharmacy. It was called Honeydew Pharmacy. It was a community pharmacy. And the story
mm.
behind that was that because my uncle was a doctor, so he used to sit down with me and tell me about medication and things like that. So I got interested into medicines and everything. So I was like, you know what, why not? Let me have a pharmacy. And also because we're running a tax practitioner company, so doing I used to work and help in the company. So I was doing the data capturing for pharmacists and
Mm.
pharmaceutical companies. So I was like, wow, there's money here. So those kind of interactions with different businesses made me have interest in opening a pharmacy.
And that grew
Yes.
to, wow.
And that grew to opening a hair shop that failed decimally in 2012 because I didn't listen, because my husband would say to me, have your projections, where's your business plan? I'm like, no, don't worry, God got me. And forgetting that
Grace.
there is principles. We need to be following the rules and everything. So I'll just take money and spend it. And, it didn't make business sense the way I was running my business. And I ended up closing it. So those are the, pit holes that, let me call them potholes that I went through in business.
Mm.
And it opened my eyes to listen, to expect. So yeah, along the way, then I saw that there's a company, Delevex Tax Consulting, that I'm a shareholder in. And I sat and I looked, I was like, what is happening in this company? What are the opportunities that this company is bringing to our community, to our country? What is it? What is the economic impact that is bringing forth? And I came up with an idea, with a structure that we should have a express business center, whereby we're going to take young professionals that are sitting at home, that are qualified and they're jobless. They are not having jobs. So we're going to give them an opportunity, a 2-year internship, so that they can learn the skills of being entrepreneurs or being employees. We all have, different people have different desires, and aspirations. So for me, I felt that, what, we need to create an environment whereby we're going to help the middle class, the elite, the private companies, the big companies, the small businesses, because at the moment, this company has been, focusing on the big businesses and, private companies and
Yeah.
the elite. So I felt
Mm.
that we need a space where me and you can walk
Yeah.
in and have our tax clearances. We can have our tax compliances sorted. We
Wow.
can register our businesses. We can have a company profile, business plans. So those are the services that we're going to offer at Delavex Tech Consulting. And we also have a partnership with Sage. We also have F&B that is coming on board, to make sure that we give our clients an immaculate service.
That is such a great initiative, because looking at the economy and how the country is going at the moment, that a lot of young people, even middle-aged people, even older people, we are pushed now to start businesses, because you can't just rely on jobs anymore with the unemployment rate going up. And it is exciting to hear that you have started something like that, that can be able to assist entrepreneurs with the guidance all the way from registering and all the taxes and everything. That is just an exciting business initiative.
Yes, yes. And it really, really motivates me also personally, because 2 years, I think 4 years ago, I have a graphic design company called Yada Designs. So what was happening is that, because I'm passionate about graphics, I'm passionate about art, I saw that there's a gap, always when you look at the church flowers, I'm like, God, we need help, So I started having passion with the work of God, as I'm a pastor and I wanted beautiful things. So I opened that door to have internship for graphic
Mm,
designers, and for them to come and get the skill, so that they get the experience. Everywhere you go this day, they ask you, what experience do you have? So Yada Designing
wow.
also created job. We just doing everything we can as a community in this beautiful country of ours to alleviate poverty and create job and motivate people to hold on.
I see that a lot of your business is mostly influenced by giving back to the community, opening up doors for young people. And it's not just about, yes, it is about making profit at the end of the day, but it is making impact and making a change in the community, which just makes you that, you can already see that God is in it. And there's another initiative that I want us just to talk about as well, which you are very passionate about. And it is the Judy Ranoto Foundation. And you're not going to make me cry, because it is such a beautiful initiative. And I want you to just tell us, in your own words, what is it about?
Okay, the Judy Ranoto Foundation, I launched it last year,
Yeah.
2021, when I was one of the cast for Pastor's Wives. It's a
Mm-hmm.
reality TV show. And I've been doing philanthropic work for, I think, since 2006,
Yeah.
2005, somewhere there.
Mm. Mm.
So as I was always, being involved in the community as a pastor and a pastor's wife, so it's a must to do something for the community. So
Of
at the end of
course.
the day, I found that here I am, and I'm just being in. I'm engaging myself in different, outreach ministries. And during the lockdown period, the group called MOCA, parents,
Mm.
it's parents with kids living with autism. They call me in their platform a Zoom prayer meeting to pray with them. Viola, it was a journey. Honestly, it was an emotional journey that I went through, because here are the parents that are COVID positive. They have their kids that are autistic. They are working from home. They are homeschooling, and they are overwhelmed.
Mm.
I have kids that are normal, and I was overwhelmed. I was anxious. I was asking myself, what is happening in this world, with the lockdown and everything. And you hear stories where parents say that my child pulled the TV down and broke it, or another parent, the son threw himself from the eighth floor. And
Oh my God.
yeah, and by the grace of God, he's alive. So you could
Mm.
imagine what was going to happen to the mom. And I felt that the Bible says that my people perish because of lack of knowledge. I felt I was ignorant. I felt that not that I didn't care, but I didn't have knowledge. I didn't make time to know about autism, because my sister-in-law has a child who's autistic. So I
Yeah.
never took time to care and ask her how is she doing, what is the progress and everything. And
Mm,
I'm learning more and more every day. Yesterday I was doing another radio interview, and I learned that before I went to the interview, I prepare myself and pray and everything. And I learned that autism is not a disability; it's an inability. Because
oh
now
wow.
I looked at Tato, he's 14, he's now saying his name. So it's not
Mm,
that he's able. So there is progress over the years. How about us as the community, as the church, as the world, as the government, as the private sector, take time to learn about this disability? Because one of the biggest burden I have for JR is I look at these kids, they are now at school, they're getting
mm,
skills, and when they turn 18, they are now left at home. They are rejected, let me put it that way, because there is no
mm,
place that takes them. So, how
yeah.
about us holding hands together and making sure that we create a platform where the skills that they have learned are being implemented in our communities, in the private sector, because these kids are supernaturally intelligent. And you know what? They are just amazing. We need to just care. We need to just, hold hands together to love. It's something that is beautiful. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son. What is it that
It
we are
is.
giving to parents?
Yeah, it is amazing that you are actually doing this and you don't have an autistic child. Because normally we as people, you normally go into certain initiatives, cancer, if you have somebody that has cancer, and then when you see autism, you just see it from afar. You'll just see this child that they have difficulties, and you feel like, ah, you know what, it is somebody else's problem. But now, what do we want to say to somebody who is listening in, to say what can be done to be part of this initiative, to be able to assist, because they are there in our communities. And like you said, as children of God, we are called for people to see the Christ in us and to make impact in the lives of our communities.
Yes, in our foundation, we have a motto that says, a small step makes a great impact.
Yeah.
Caring about your neighbor, or
Mm,
your cousin, or anyone that you know that is going through this, it makes a great impact. Just checking on them if they are okay, just making sure that they're not going through mental health issues and all that, because
mm,
it's
mm.
extremely, extremely challenging. And
Yeah.
I feel that as a community, we need to hold hands together. If you know someone that is or has a child who's autistic, get in
Mm,
touch with us at JR Foundation. It's JR Foundation, and on Instagram. We don't have a Facebook page yet, and our
mhm,
email address is Judy at jrfoundation.co.za. So we're trying so hard to make sure that we spread the word. It begins with love, Viola.
mm,
It begins with caring. It begins with making an extra effort, to care about someone. So for me, as next month, the month of April is World Autism Month. And as JR Foundation, we're really planning to have something beautiful for the mothers, to just show them that, we love them, we care about them, and just give them emotional support. And, most of these mothers and, or let me say parents, but most mothers, they're single parents, because when things like this happen, men, they run away. And I just want us to support them. I feel that also the church, we need to understand the challenges. Many parents don't go to church because they say that the church rejected me because of my son's behavior or my daughter's behavior. And
and I think, just to add on to what you're saying, I think all not all thing it's about when a child comes like that, it's all about, you just need prayers and deliverance and whatever. You also
yes,
need just to physically intervene in the life of a child, not just to pray and say, this is what we are trusting God. Yes, it's okay to do that, we are called to do that, but you must also intervene in the life of the child. And we have the email address again. It's Judy at jrfoundation.co.za. If you
yes,
have a child, if you know of a child that has the condition and that needs interference, that needs some assistance, you just have to just email Judy at jrfoundation.co.za. I think we have actually run out of time. But it was such an honor and a pleasure to speak to you. And thank you so much for the amazing work that you're doing for autism. It is Autism Month, Awareness Month, next month, like you said. And
Yes.
do just remember to just see what you can do for your neighbor, for your child, for a child in your community that has autism. How do they? What is your parting word to somebody as we are closing the interview?
Um, I would say that God is love and
Yes.
love is God.
Mm,
And when God created us, He spoke words. So we are the manifestation of the word of God. So we
true.
carry and we should mimic what God is doing and what He said. So just love someone, just
Thank you
care
so
about
much.
someone.
Thank you so much, woman of God. I'm so inspired
Thank
by the
you.
work that you do, and we wish you all the best. And all the best in Pastor's Wives. Follow her on Honey. I think you just finished the last season of Pastor's Wife, and
Yes.
yeah, we're looking forward to seeing more of you on the screen and all the amazing work that you have been doing.
By
And
the grace of
we'll
God.
be following you. We'll be following you as
Yes.
Africa USA Radio. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. This was Viola N, and the show continues on Africa Praise.
Thank you so much for having me.